Yes, I have about 3 or 4 pedal boards. The one I'm using at the minute is one that I travel with if I'm on a plane. Just because it's not too small and it's not too big. My other pedal board, which I tour with and I take on the tour bus or whatever, is about twice the size of this, and to bring that on the plane, it's just not practical. So I also have a little small one, which is kind of really cool for just flying in, doing one gig here and there for festivals and stuff, and which is kind of cool because I have a lot of really small pedals, so I can get like maybe 8 pedals on this little small pedal board, and kind of all works for what I need, whatever gig it is. So yeah, but this one, yeah, it's kind of got everything that I use. Yeah, the bigger one is just extra toys for me to play with. So the main source of my sound is pretty much the amp. These lovely PRS amps. The Overdrive is it all comes from the second channel on this amp. Everything else is just adding to the actual original tone. So I guess I'll start with I have so many. Which I'll start with? Okay. Well, the original sound sounds like this. So now for lead sound, I would generally have this grip pedal by Exotic. It's an AC plus, and there's 2 channels on it. I use kind of channel B because it has a little frequency thing. You can adjust the bass, mid, and treble, and also adjust the gain and the level, which is kind of cool. So it just helps for certain solos. Rather than actually boost the volume, I would actually rather boost the mid. Just cuts that wee bit more through. So if I'll just demonstrate it. So it's like. So, it just adds a little bit of high-end top to it. Doesn't really color the sound, and in an unwanted way. Some overdrives I've had in the past, kind of, they would either suck a little bit of bass out, or add something which I don't like. But for me, the AC Plus is just, as soon as I heard it, I actually fell in love with it. I used to use another one before, but this, for what I need, is perfect. So what else do I have? I'll just stay with the Exotic pedals for the minute. I have an EP booster, which is great for several things. It's great for just that, just a little bit of clean boost. It's just a high end. If you feel like your amp's not giving you a little bit that just extra top that you need, I just kick it in. So it's like. I find it also works well that I switch it to single coils, so it's like. So I would use that in conjunction with the little SB compressor, because what I would do a lot is when I switch it to single coils. Now obviously the amp is overdriving the sound, so to get the correct kind of single coil sound, you really need to have your volume on your guitar up full. But the thing is with the PRS, I can actually back it off and it cleans up a little, but just to get that extra little bit of gain from it, I usually add the EP and the SP, so that would be the sound, without it. If I kick in the compressor. If I add the EP boost. So that means you can back it right off and get those kind of Hendrix type sounds or whatever. Okay, so what else have I... Speaking of Hendrix, I've got an Octavia, which is by a German guy called Walbruch. Walbruch, I'm not too sure how you pronounce it, but yeah, he gave me this pedal. I was in Germany last year, and he gave me this pedal to try, and it's a great Octavia. It also has the option you can switch it from the octave and the fuzz. Most of the time I just use the octave fuzz, so because it's noisy and crazy, and that's what I like. So and it sounds like this. So as you can hear, it's pretty nuts, like so. But you can actually back it off, and you can do some kind of nice, cool stuff with it. So. So, yeah, that's the Octavia. It's, you know, it's great. It's probably the best one I've tried so far. All right, what else have I got? Now, part of my pedalboard runs through the effects loop, and part of it runs in line. I usually try to keep all of my kind of like delays and reverbs and stuff in the effects loop, because I prefer the sound of it. It's a little bit, it's cleaner, and it's some people don't like it, but you know, that's just the way I like it. So I use a Strymon Flint. It's on all the time. It's a reverb and a tremolo in one. The reverb channel's on, as I said, the whole time I play. So it's very, not very much, just very short. So it's like. If I turn it off, it's like. Back on. I just like it because, you know, it has a little bit of vibe to, you know, my overall tone. The other side of it is the tremolo. I really like the tremolo on this. I've tried lots of tremolo pedals. I really like this one because it just sounds like an old Vibrolux or something like that. You know, it's just really cool. It's kind of really warm and just very smooth. Well, demonstrate so. So it's not an exact you know, kind of square wave or anything. It's kind of like just like it's nearly like a uni vibe, but as a tremolo. I really like it. I think it's cool. Another big part of my sound which I use is just a simple delay pedal. I have currently I'm using a TC Electronics flashback. Sometimes I use two. On the bigger board I would use two. One is set to be a bit more wild. This one is always kind of set to kind of standard kind of setting. Just it's like. So as you can hear, it's very subtle. Again, it just adds a little bit more vibe to the sound that I use. What else? Okay, next we have a company called Jam. The Jam are a Greek company. They sent me a couple of pedals to try. One of them is a Univibe. It's called a Retro Vibe. And this is probably the closest thing I've ever heard to the kind of one of the originals, without spending $4,000 or something just crazy on one. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It has a depth, has a speed, and it sounds like this. So. So you could, if I back it off, and you know, you can kind of get all those kind of crazy Hendrix stuff. So. So yeah, and the other one beside it is a it's called a waterfall, and this is kind of two pedals in one. It's kind of like it's a chorus pedal, and it has a vibrato setting on it as well. Depending on the song, you know, I would use both. Again, it's probably one of the best chorus pedals that suits me. Everything I have on my board, it's took me a while to find the right kind of pedal which suits what I do. I tried various chorus pedals, various Univibes and stuff, so I'm kind of very happy with what I've got now. The waterfall sounds like this. So if I switch it to the vibrato section, you'll hear it's like. So again, it's very cool, adds a different color vibe to things. So I have a tuner, it does exactly what it says in the tin, tunes the guitar. I also have a Strymon Mobius pedal, and to be honest, I don't really use it to its full potential. I use mostly the Leslie simulator on it. It has a lot of really cool sounds. It's relatively new to me, so I haven't really figured out how to use it properly. So, but it's a great pedal. Let's just listen to the Leslie sound on it. So. So, you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty realistic. It's I find, you know, Leslie pedals, nothing can ever really sound like a true Leslie cabinet, but you know, to bring a Leslie cabinet on the road is like massive, and you know, I ain't lifting it. So lastly, what I have on the board is, no, not lastly, I have so many pedals, it's just crazy. I forget what I have. I have a T-Rex pedal, which is called an Octavius. The guys in T-Rex, they sent me this pedal about a year ago, and you know, I never really used octave pedals. I have certain songs on my album which have a little bit of octave on some of the solo parts. But live, I never really used it, so they sent me this, and I just, every gig now, I have to use it. It just sounds so cool, especially on the kind of lower end stuff, which I'll play. So. that's the Octavias. So yes, lastly now we have this great pedal by Exotic. It's called the SL Drive. Now this pedal is kind of, for me, is a lifesaver when you know, I go and do festivals or where you're using hard backline, and you know, sometimes hard backline is not that good. You know, it could be a Marshall or it could be whatever amp it is. It's just, you know, sometimes hard companies don't, you know, service them, or, you know, get them revalved every 6 months or something, or, you know, maybe they're just blown. So sometimes the overdrive channel on the amp is not really that good, but 9 times out of 10 the clean channel is pretty good. So I usually just bring this in, stick it in, and I'm happy. So so I'll demonstrate it. I'll switch to the clean sound on the amp. So the clean sound is just like this. So when I play the SL Drive, now to me, I can't really tell much difference between that and the overdrive channel. It's slightly different in sound, but so, you know, it's great by the guys Exotic. They did a really cool job. This thing's incredible. You know, I remember the first time I heard it, I was just like, "Are you sure that's the pedal? There's just nothing else going on." So yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, that's it. I don't think of anything else. No, that's it. I think that's enough.